In Eastern Kentucky, being connected to the world has never been easier. With our 100 meg package at only $44.95 a month, you can be sure to always stay connected and up to date. But if that's not fast enough, we offer even faster, with the layest technology to make sure you're getting the most out of your service. Give us a call today or check out tgtel.com for more information. Thacker Grigsby, bringing the future to Eastern Kentucky.
Welcome to Daniel Field, Hazard, Kentucky. Before the whistle, your host, Winston Lee, with your other host, Coach Ethan Cummings.
Thank you. Thank you.
How was
I'm
that?
excited. That was great.
Was that a good intro?
That was a great intro. I'm excited about this week.
Listen, I just watched, me and he talked about this while we were walking in the parking lot, and I've been watching the Pat McAfee show, and we're better than ESPN, but ESPN just paid this man $80 million, and I promise you this next hour of Before the Whistle will be more entertaining than what you will watch on the Pat McAfee show. It's a joke. Pay me. It's a joke. He wears my parents don't know what this is. He wears a wife beater, and he's pumped up, and he wears gold chains and and he screams a lot, and he gets paid $80 million.
And all he has is a mic. He don't even have headsets.
He don't even have a headset. He has a microphone. He did have The Rock as a guest on the show today. Do you think we could pull that off?
Probably not.
We could get Kyle Maggard.
We could get Cal. We could.
He's a wrestler. AMW's way better than WWE.
Most definitely.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. Most valuable viewers, kicking this week off right as we are coming to you live from Daniel Field in Hazard, Kentucky. And as I was walking up the hill, I noticed tonight it must be a really special night. Not only are we sitting with this perfect backdrop here, it's one of the most beautiful fields in really Eastern Kentucky, if you ask anybody. And what they do here is so amazing. People actually tailgate.
Yeah, I love that about this field. I do. Even whenever, Evan, my little brother, whenever he was first coming up, ultimately ended up going to Perry Central his freshman year, but he had considered coming to Hazard, and we come over here and watched the game, and it was lined up out there. We come in, it was such a great environment. Yeah. And it was just great. I love that feeling. It feels like a college game, right?
It does. Like, we are literally, if we could turn the camera around, which from what I'm told, TVS will not ever trust me with one of these cameras, but we have the RV parked in the back that we're trying to steal the Wi-Fi from is sitting right here. We have access to their Roku stick is right here. And we're looking at it. They just filled up the cooler, and I'm going to ask them if I can peek my head in that cooler here in a second. There's an ice cream truck parked right up the hill. I would have gotten an ice cream, but turns out for the third or fourth week in a row, I was early, and I was afraid my ice cream would melt before we got on air. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of us this year.
Absolutely. Most valuable viewers, of course, I'm shouting out my parents as always. My wife, who was attempting to watch on YouTube last week, I hope she's watching tonight. She's actually going to a beauty pageant, which does open me the door to say my little baby child at 9 months old won the Mountain Heritage Baby Miss pageant last Monday, and so I'm really proud of you, my little baby.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I walked her out. It was a proud dad moment. I walked her out. I didn't trip. I didn't fall. And all the pictures, I have a double chin, but it's okay.
Did you cry?
I did cry. Whenever Addie was first, Addie did a couple pageants until we had one pageant meltdown, and I was like, okay, no, we're not doing this again. I will not torture my child any longer. And I was probably emotional when Addie was in it and won, but no, with Lana, I was just having fun, man. My wife was great. She wasn't like one of these pageant monster moms.
Yeah.
Even though I'd still love to have a reality show. The only way I will keep this beauty pageant going is if we can get a reality show out of it.
Like Honey Boo Boo.
Yes, I want to be Pat McAfee and Honey Boo Boo. And maybe somehow we can join them. I'm also trying to get my mother-in-law to be on Golden Bachelor. They got the Bachelor now, the Bachelorette now that's like, old. Not saying that she's old.
That's exactly what you just said.
But I think this is a good opportunity. I'm telling you.
It would be great.
I'm telling y'all, they missed me 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I better say 12. I better say 13 years ago. They missed me. I could have been on The Bachelor, and it would have been fire. I would have never committed or dropped to a knee for anybody on that show, but it would have been great. I'm just being on every reality show tonight. I'm on a kick.
On a kick. I just think if they have a reality show of just our life here, I mean, we would.
Oh, absolutely. My our lives in Whitesburg and Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can make it.
Follow us around all day.
We can make it work. If Honey Boo Boo can make it work,
oh, we can make it work.
I can make it work. Fireworks. All right, that's my most valuable viewer list. You got anybody?
I shout out my mom. She always watches. My mama.
Absolutely.
And then, Michaela and soon to be Daxton when he gets here. So
That's right.
Just a few weeks out from that. Kind of in the same situation he was in last year. First week of games. It's just meant to be, right? They want you. God in heaven wants me to miss a week of basketball. That's exactly what it is.
He says enough is enough. Yeah, this is an interesting story. I guess we always spend the first 10 minutes sharing life stories, but, of course, Lana was born the night of our first varsity game last year, and so Ethan was thrown to the fire and coached our first game last year. He's 1-0 as a head coach of the Jenkins boys basketball team. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. While Whitney was in labor literally while the game was going on. I had the phone watching the game, and she was literally pushing out Lana, and she finally looked at me and she's like, drop the phone. I was like, oh, God. Like the devil came out for a second. I was like, okay, push, honey. Yeah, so it was great. We survive and we move on. It's great. We pride ourselves on the fact that Lana's never missed a boys' home game from her first days on Earth. She's not missed one yet. And that was brought up Friday. We took her in the pageant at Neon during the middle of the day, and it was outside, and that was just not good for Lana. We didn't win that one. It was bad. I gave her a blue blow pop to pacify her for the day, like during the pageant, and she ended up with this huge blue face when Whitney took her out on stage. I thought the judges might buy it a little bit, but they didn't.
They didn't, no.
Nope, didn't win a thing. All right, top 10 state rankings. Speaking of pageantry, top 10 state rankings have changed just slightly. We have, of course, your usual suspects of Boyle, X, Douglas, but now coming in at 4, and we've talked about often, and every Friday they get brought up, and rightfully so, is Corbin. And I hear, of course, we know they have these 2 4-stars that have come down from, where was it, Connecticut. And supposedly they're going to flip to Kentucky, I think was the intentions all along. I don't know where they were committed to before.
Yeah.
But that's going to be huge and something to keep your eye on in the sports world, especially if you're a UK football fan. Then we have Male, LCA, Trinity, Covcath, DuPont Manual, Christian Academy of Louisville. And then, the shakeup is we like to look at all of our mountain teams, and most of you at home know, and if you're watching this, you are a desperate high school football fan. Pikeville was defeated last week, 7-6 by Raceland.
Yeah.
And so Raceland moved up in the rankings and cracked the top 10, and Pikeville moves to number 22. But you mentioned last week, and I'm going to let you mention it again. Well, and this was before they played last Friday.
Yeah.
As we were saying, they wasn't playing as well, to the elite level that they usually are playing at this point.
Most definitely.
You're still not in panic mode?
I'm still not in panic mode. They have a great coach, a great coaching staff, and a great system. I still think back. Now, if you'd asked me this the year Belfry was having a bad year, I would have been a little bit panicked. But after watching Belfry come through the year with 4 wins and still win a state title. Pikeville and Belfry are so close to being the same program in my eyes. You know, so I think I'm still not in panic mode. If I'm Pikeville, it's a close loss, 1-point loss. I'm moving forward this week, trying to pick up a win to get our momentum back up, and looking forward to the playoffs because that's what matters to them right now. Does not matter to them.
Yep.
Playoffs is what matters. So I'm not in panic mode.
You're right, and the way the playoff system is set up, you know, the way the playoffs. Oh, look at there, there she is, a picture of my beautiful babe that Josh Cornett, our producer. It came out weird. We were talking about it on air, and you see it. What did these cookies work? I'm telling you, on the Facebook is what my mom would say. On the Facebook, you know, they're listening to us. Lana comes up on Josh's Facebook as we're sitting here. So, yeah, I think Pikeville figures it out, and I think the way the district sets up now, which those of you at home know, their district is Hazard and Paintsville, and they got to feel good about those matchups. And so they feel good about those matchups, and they're going to feel good about the first round of the playoffs, and they'll feel good about the second round of the playoffs. And so these games right now are only preparing them for third, fourth round of what's to come, you know, gearing up for the state championship. All right. Always next, we do our top 10 state rankings, and then, of course, we afford a few minutes here. It's supposed to be the 2-minute drill of NFL football, but we always take it longer. But our 2-minute drill concerning NFL's hottest and latest topics, and I think what has to be at the top of the list is the absolute tragedy. I have never in my life witnessed something so tragic as Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps into the game after so much hype and so much build-up. They're coming to the tailgate. What's the theme tonight? What's the theme? I don't know. It could be All right, let's go. Country versus Country Club. That's the theme. We were not invited. I should have. Can I borrow a flannel? I was not invited. We should have went country.
We should have went country.
We are a country club.
We are, kind of.
This is a 100% golf shirt.
Yeah.
This is a country club shirt. I don't know. You can pass for the country club.
I can pass.
I have my sunglasses. I don't know where they're. I'm very casual tonight. I'm not even wearing socks.
Next week I'm showing up in a wife beater. Like, I'm gonna buy me some chains.
But it's not. It's not going to be a cool, like, loose fit wife beater. It's going to be like the Hanes, like 100% cotton, like out of the package from Walmart.
Most definitely.
And chains. All right. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like the country club might be winning so far. I don't know. The country girl. They got 2 of them, 3 of them. NFL football, A-Rod. Torn Achilles, 4 snaps into the game. Your thoughts?
You know, after the game, I hate that for Aaron Rodgers. But I think the Jets being able to sign Aaron Rodgers enabled them to sign better players for their team. And so they were able to still pull out the win. Now, do I think they can compete in the playoffs without him? No. But to get through the season with wins and maybe make the playoffs, scratching at the wild card, maybe after their performance last night. I mean, they played the Bills.
The Bills are good.
Josh Allen threw 3 interceptions against the Jets.
4. Did he throw 3 or 4?
That was awful. It was awful. Like, anybody who drafted Josh Allen in their fantasy league instantly regretted that game. They were like, A-Rod's out. And then they were like, 3 interceptions. What?
Shout out Justin Kane. I know he's not watching, but he drafted Josh Allen in our draft early. The Whitesburg Fantasy Football League, he drafted Josh Allen, right? He drafted Josh Allen, and he's hyped up going into this game Monday night because he knows Josh Allen's going to score him 18, 20 points, and they're going to win this game. And he's going to win his little fantasy game. And Josh Allen sucked.
He had 6 points. I had running backs who had more points. Kickers that had more points.
Defenses were dominated last weekend. And speaking of that, quarterbacks just in general were awful last weekend, aside from Tua, and to beat it all, Mac Jones and maybe Cousins, and that was about it, which he wasn't very good Thursday night. But, I just find it extremely man, it just hurt me, like, as a football fan because, whether you like Aaron Rodgers or not, a lot of hype was around that.
Yeah.
He runs out of the tunnel carrying the American flag.
Yep.
It's like just so much hype. And so, I know, right?
No, I seen the thing.
The memes?
I seen a video that said Aaron Rodgers highlights, so I clicked on it, and it was just him running out. And then after he got to the end, it was like the end. And then it was just I seen that today. When you said the flag, it made me think of it.
I've seen so many like savage. The internet is a terrible place. I found that out quick when my wife was on Big Brother. It's like the internet can be a savage, brutal place of this planet, and not even this planet. And I've seen some really, really. I saw one the other night. This is my cousin Stevie. Shout out Stevie. Shared, and it was like something in reference to Aaron Rodgers lasted 4 plays. I guess that's 3 more than Abe Lincoln lasted. No, Abe was shot at a play in the theater. So it's just a savage.
He's a history teacher.
Yeah, I'm a history teacher. It was just savage stuff going around, but it made me actually very, very sad because there was just so much hype around it, and I felt like the Jets, like you said, they signed these players and they're ready for the Super Bowl and like Super Bowl bound. And Eric Arrows is a huge Jets fan. All these Jets fans come out of the holes, right? Yeah, and they're like out and they're like, "Go Jets, Jets, Jets." And then this happens, and I felt that pain, like as a Bengals fan, which we'll talk about here in a second. I don't know, but isn't it ironic? It's just so ironic the Bills have this mental block against the Jets.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
It's like the Browns and the Bengals. Like the Bengals just have a mental block when it comes to playing the Cleveland Browns.
I was so happy to see the Bengals play as bad as they did.
They were awful.
Because I've made so many bets with my friend Jake against the Bengals this year because, I like the Ravens.
Yeah.
He likes the Bengals.
Yeah.
So, we've just made so many bets, and I got to talk so much crap after they lost to the Browns.
Oh, they were awful.
They were awful.
Oh, they were awful. I blame it on the rain, blame it on the juice, whatever. It was bad. And, the Ravens didn't look so great, but they won.
Here's a question too before we switch topics: is do they keep Zach Wilson or do you sign somebody?
Well, I'd actually heard today. My sources tell me. I made a few phone calls today. His name is Sean Bear Collier, and he's in my 5th period class. And they tell me that after exploring the pool of what is available over the last 24 hours, the Jets are fully committed now to Zach Wilson and his mom.
Well, now here's the thing about Zach Wilson. If you're going to make it in the league, now's the time to do it. You have the team around you. You have the offensive line that they signed to build. Build for Aaron Rodgers. So here's your chance. If you can't do it within this season, you're done. Like this is I'm not saying he can. I'm not saying he can't. But if he's going to, this is the year that he's going to do it.
Nope.
No.
Maybe. I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like you mentioned, Garrett Wilson is good.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb can still be good. Alan Lazard is good. I mean, you're right. Like Aaron Rodgers, at least he didn't give them more than 4 plays. He gave them an excellent run out with the American flag, but at least he gave them like literally 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
And so now they can compete, maybe with Zach Wilson. That'll be interesting to see. We mentioned the Bengals tragedy. Listen, I have to air this out. And if you read, those of you at home, I know everybody watching, all 5 of you have read Cat Scratch for the Week, which is available every week around Wednesday or Thursday on HT24 on the website. So please go find it and read it and at least give it a thumbs up. I'm not even getting a thumbs up. Can I get 1 like other than my dad? But on Cat Scratch, This happened in the NFL on Sunday, and it caused my fantasy team to lose. And so I'm not letting it go. I've chose to latch on to this. If I go on and have this miserable fantasy season, which it's looking like I will after Jalen Hurts, which is another thing I could get started on. I mean, if I'm a running back and I do all the work down the field and then you get on the inch line, I mean, I'm serious. He's on the inch line, right out here, the inch line, this far from the end zone, and you have worked all the way downfield. DeAndre Swift, thank you for your services. And then coach calls the play in, first down, and you're like, oh, great, I'm going to get me a TD. I deserve it. You know, coach is going to reward me. No. Let's let your fat quarterback line up behind the center and just everybody, you get to push him in. Not only do you not get the ball and score the touchdown, you have to push your quarterback's butt into the end zone. Embarrassing. It makes me so angry. If I was DeAndre Swift, I would say, Coach, I quit. Twice. And that's 2 scores, which equals 12 points at least for Jalen Hurts and me. All right, anyway, what I have a problem with is football teams throwing the ball in short yardage, late down situations. I have a problem. If it is 3rd and 1, line up, give your back a lead blocker. You are in the NFL. Try to move a person out of the way and get a yard. Like, get the yard. I'm actually okay with Jalen Hurts pushing the butt on that 3rd and 1 situation. Like, I just see so many teams going spread. You know, the Bengals, it's like 3rd and 3. It's 2nd and 1, which is fine. You can gamble and take a shot on 2nd and 1. But, dang, after you don't get a first down for so many series, let's just make it a priority to get a first down.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's 3rd and 3. It's 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 1. We're lining up in the spread. Empty. No back.
Yeah.
I mean, what has happened? What has happened? And so I'm watching the Chargers and Dolphins. And, of course, I'm playing against Tua. And, you know, I'm good. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, the Chargers have the ball. They're up by 1. There's 4 minutes in the game left. It's first down. What do?
You run the ball.
Not only that, but let me also add that they had ran for over 250 yards in this game already. So it was like they had already established the fact that they could run and had the backs to run. Eckler was hurt, but Joshua Kelly was killing it.
Yeah.
It's like, you're up 1. Turn around, give it to a back, and let them get a first down and be done. Go home.
Yeah.
But no, we go spread, no back, throw it around 3 times, punt it, and Tua throws a 60-yard bomb touchdown to Tyreek. You lose. Stop it!
Uh-oh. Hey, you're breaking out the grill.
The grill. What are we having? What you got? Chicken? I was just going to ask for a hot dog. Chicken's great. Chicken's great. Chicken, they're firing. I want that. They're firing up the grill, and it's chicken. You know, we're doing it right over here. It's country club versus country tonight. All right, I'm moving on from the state of football. I won't get started on it. If you want to hear more about my venting, go read the article on HT24. Do you have a comment on the running the ball? Are you with me?
Yeah, the biggest problem I've had with them not running the ball is really with the whole punt situation. If you're 4th and inches or 4th and 1, why are you punting?
Right. Well,
you what? Like you said earlier, all you got to do is push your quarterback across the line, and you've got the first down. So why punt the ball?
If the Eagles ever punt, I mean, they should honestly just never punt. They said it has a 95% success rate. Yeah. Seriously. So, I mean, you probably have better odds of getting it blocked if
Yeah.
But getting back punting and getting it blocked. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, run the ball. And Kentucky's honestly made me mad in that way, which is our next topic. We are moving on to cat talk. And you wanted to say something about the University of Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, I mean, I think that last Saturday, they put on Saturday, right?
Yep,
I think that Saturday it really showed these delusional Kentucky fans what Kentucky football is really made of. Just because you have 2 good seasons and you pick up a few wins does not mean you're Alabama. Does not mean that you're going into the season with a 10-2 record or or making the playoffs. I mean, stop being delusional. Stop it. And if Manus Blair, I hope you're watching. Stop it. You and Winston have to stop. You're setting yourself up for failure because they are not as good as what you think they are. And it proved it.
Is there a recording? Can I borrow that? What is that? Can I borrow that? Oh, my God. Yes. Hang on.
Oh, my God.
Hang on. Oh, God. What is this, a bulldog?
Yep, it's a bulldog.
It smells great. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm not going to take anything you say seriously. Go ahead.
But as I was saying, no, Kentucky they did not look like the team everybody expects them to be. You have a lot of upset, even though you won the game with it being as close as it was, and the performance that they put on. It's just they're struggling. And I think they're going to continue to struggle this season, especially with the schedule that they have ahead of them. You know, Tennessee, Bama, Georgia, Texas A&M, and I'm even going to throw Louisville in there.
Stop.
You know? That's
Stop.
5 competitive games. I mean, you're playing at Louisville with the Brom system. I'm going to get bit.
Here you go. Thank you. Cowgirls. They got it tonight. Cowgirls over the country club.
But on the other hand, some bird talk. Louisville did win. We played 9 quarterbacks. It was so easy. Our 9th string walk-on got on the field. Kentucky couldn't even get their scholarship backup on the field last Saturday. So we're sitting pretty at 2-0. You guys are sitting ugly at 2-0.
I'm getting texts from John Lowe's watching that. He reminded me that Pat McAfee is a WVU legend. I'm sure that's true. Thank you. I'm an Alice Lloyd College legend. Thank you, John Lowe. What's the difference? Pay me $80 million. So my dad's going to kill me. But you know what? Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. Watch this man come down this hill with the Subway boxes. Is he going to make it? He made it. He made it. I thought he was going to not make it. There was going to be condiments everywhere. He made it. So here's the thing is Dad came over to the house. Like, again, my wife makes these great host settings for me to just ultimately suck all day. Yeah. Like last week we did the NFL thing. She makes buffalo chicken dip and of course Piggy's in a blanket, my favorite, yeah. and my fantasy team sucks, the Bengals sucks and whatever. Well,
in Kentucky sucks.
In Kentucky, it's like how much paint? Whoa, fumble. Let me throw that thing. I just am very disappointed in what I'm seeing so far. And you can also read about that at Cat Scratch. But,
Well, especially with the...
Hey, boys. Hey. Hey. Keep it out there.
Especially with the whole hype behind the Liam Coleman.
I know. That's what I'm disappointed in. And here's what I see. And like I said, I don't know anything about football. I've played it a couple times, and I just watch it. It's I get most of my knowledge from NCAA football, 2002 to 2014, yeah. Whatever. So it's but what I see is we right now are so bent on letting Leary throw. Right? Yeah. And we have a special group of receivers. Absolutely. And we need to throw. Yep. But right now, it's what my wish is, and this is part of the open vent for the day. We're going to end up getting hit in the head. Throw that. Josh Gordon with here's our former QB. It's perfect spiral. But what I really wish is that we would establish the ground game before we throw. That's all I ask. And I feel like Cohen has that up his sleeve. I can't help but to think, like, against these inferior, opponents, like, we are going to try to let Leary throw and get his right now because obviously this is why he came to Kentucky. But we have Ray Davis, too, who came to Kentucky for a very specific purpose, and that was to run the rock. And so it's like right now I feel like the game plan is probably flipped than what it will be later, I hope. And I hope that we start to see that now that we've had some frustrating moments throughout the first 2 games where you're literally losing to EKU. And nothing against EKU. It's a great game plan.
Yep.
They have great athletes. They were playing for Roy Kidd, RIP, who passed away this past week. And so it's like, I don't know, man. I just wish that we would establish the run game and let that big blue wall work a little bit before we let's set up some play action. And this was what Cohen was so good with Chris Rodriguez, Will Levis, and Wandale Robinson is like establish the run, then we got play action happening all over the field, and you ain't able to guard it. So that's what I want as a UK fan, and I think that's coming because I have faith in Liam Cohen. But right now, it's not worked.
Well, and one thing too that not only Kentucky fans, but the coaches are going to have to realize is Leary. Is that his name?
Yep.
Leary is not Levis.
Yeah.
He's not.
He's not.
He was great in, as much as I hate saying this, he was great in ACC play with NC State. But when you get into SEC playing football, it's a totally different ball game, right? And he's not. Well, he can't. I don't think he can move the way Will Levis moved with the ball. I mean, you think about with the play action, it was so dangerous for Will Levis because. Is he going to go? Is he going to hand it off? Or is he going to throw it? I mean, you could run that all day long, but Leary ain't going to go.
Right.
And if he does go, he's not going to go far.
Yeah.
So he's either going to hand it off or he's going to pass it. So that's probably why they're trying to utilize the pass game more. And
then they're running it late. I just want to see that script flipped. And I'm interested to see if over the next couple weeks that it actually does flip. And I do want to reiterate how good I really think Ray is. I think Ray Davis is really good. Like, I think he's really good. And, like, he passes the eye test. He's strong. He's fast. He's a C-Rod type back. And it's like, so at what point are we going to start making him the feature of this offense? Not saying that it shouldn't be those receivers.
Yeah.
And I will say my prediction about Tavion Robinson has been true. He leads the team right now in a very elite group of receivers in yards and catches. So all 3 of them have the same amount of catches. Again, and that's almost by design, right? Like, it has to be almost by design. Like, all 3 of those guys, high-profile receivers, have the same amount of catches.
Who do they play this week?
We play Akron tomorrow night.
Okay.
So, I would say it's a gimme, but I don't know. I think the line was like 26, 25 and a half, but God, the line was like 40 on the EKU, and it was a game. I mean, we had to do things for me to chill out.
Man,
they cut it back to 4 late.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take us a small break. We are still 41 minutes from kickoff here. Yeah, do we want chicken? Yeah, Josh better say yes. Sure, yeah.
I'm good, thank you.
Water? That's great.
Yeah.
Chicken? Brats? What else is in that cooler? We got 41 minutes until kickoff here at Daniel Field. I'm glad I got my vent out. I'll try not to vent anymore. Coming up after the break, we got your Friday rerun of the week of the past and KHSAA of our local coverage teams. And then, of course, you do not want to miss E's Prophecies. And if I pick the Bulldogs, I may break out that hat again. I don't know. We'll see. Dev, give us like a 2-minute break. 1-minute break. We'll be back before the whistle.
Nestled in the mountains of Appalachia, along the Purpose Road, is a hidden gem, Alice Lloyd College. For 100 years, ALC has been providing opportunities.
Opportunity to learn from the best.
Opportunity to work for my education.
Opportunity to serve my community.
Opportunity to become a leader.
Opportunity to find my life's purpose.
Apply now to find your purpose at Alice Lloyd College.
No matter what town or community you live in, there's a Tim Short dealership nearby. That's because our family of dealerships are dedicated to serving the folks throughout Eastern Kentucky. Our employees are your friends and neighbors, helping to support the local economy and provide safe and affordable transportation to everyone that shops the family of Tim Short dealerships. Our entire inventory can be found with the click of a button at timshortautogroup.com. Visit us online and join the thousands of customers that took the short drive to satisfaction today.
For over 100 years, the Bank of Hyman has been committed to serving our community and serving the future of our families, homes, and businesses. With our new convenient online banking, viewing your account balance and history, transferring money, and paying bills has never been easier or more secure. And with the construction of our new headquarters, we've renewed our promise to Hyman to stand by our customers even in troubling economic times, because we're not just your bank, we're your neighbors. That's the Bank of Hyman. Log on to www.bankofhyman.com or give us a call at 606-785-3158.
TVS Cable has everything you need to stay entertained. Video services with all your favorite channels and local sports on Hometown 24. Ask about digital voice service for home and business. High-speed internet so you never fall behind in a game. There's something for all ages. We've got you covered. Sit back and enjoy everything TVS has to offer. Stay connected with TVS.
Hi, I'm attorney David Johnson. You may recognize me from some of our other ads, but injuries from an auto accident are no joking matter. With over 25 years of experience, our offices have the resources and expertise to go head to head with big insurance. While most of our cases get resolved without going to court, trust me, they know if the attorney you choose will take it this far. Either way, our clients get paid. So for all your legal needs, get the pros on your side.
And welcome back. We're here at the RV, Daniel Field, Hazard, Kentucky. Shout out Benny Feltner. He actually offered us a water, and I feel like there's food that will happen. The chicken is on the griddle. It's on the Blackstone right now getting flipped and spiced. Like I'm going to get chicken out of this tonight. Which means you better pick the Bulldogs. But you know how that goes. We cannot pick against the Bobcats.
Yeah.
Right? They'll make a hate video on you, bro.
I know. Before we move on, Arlie Lee, I don't know if you're watching. If you are watching, get over yourself. Kentucky's awful. The Bengals are awful. Just turn your TV off this season, and and I don't care how many times you text me or Winston, it's not going to change my mind. They are awful. Awful.
He wished you happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank you for that. But they are still awful. Both of them awful. Go Cards. And the Ravens.
L's down. We're supposed to go. Supposedly, the Lees will be making a trip up to Cincinnati in December to watch the Colts versus the Bengals.
It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the Colts were. I think the Colts were okay. Yeah, I think Anthony Richardson looked good, and that's me talking as a UK fan that hates the Florida Gators. Is that I think he looked good. He looked the part. A couple touchdowns. I mean, he's going to have some bad turnovers, but you can expect that out of any rookie. I look for them to be pretty good. I mean, eventually with him.
He definitely looked like he definitely looked like the best rookie quarterback.
I do too. I think so too. I mean, and not to take anything, I thought C.J. Stroud played fine. I think he's going to be fine. I think Bryce Young looked fine. I think he's going to be fine. I think he looked pretty good too. But yeah, I think if you had to pick one of the rookies, you probably are picking Anthony Richardson. So I don't know. Maybe you were right, Colts. We were really upset you didn't pick Will Levis, but I don't know. Maybe you got it right. Ryan Tannehill was awful last week too. All right. The week that was in KHSAA football, as we enjoy a KHSAA tailgate, Letcher over the home team tonight, Hazard, 54-7. Are you surprised? I know me and you picked the game last week, and we got the team right.
Yeah.
But did the score surprise you at all?
It did, and I hate to say it this way, but I was in shock of how bad that Hazard struggled.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say.
They look.
I'm sure they would tell you the same thing.
They really struggled.
Better whisper, though.
Defensively, I thought. Defensively is where they struggled. And, Max Pelfrey, their quarterback, he's going to do his thing. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks around, I feel like. I really think
sure.
Max Pelfrey,
Absolutely. Well,
he's great at what
on
he
paper,
does.
yeah.
But, defensive, they just look, I don't know if it's they're really young, if they've lost a lot of players. They looked really small to be a Hazard team. I'm used to seeing Hazard teams that fill up this whole sideline right here.
Right, yeah.
They're usually one of the bigger 1A schools competing with the Pikefuls and the Racelands. And this year, it really shocked me. I'm hoping that they got that out of their system and they're ready for this week,
Yeah, and we played on that last Friday and making the pick, remember, is like, Hazard traditionally is just so good. At one point this season, I remember Dan Howard's first season is like they were kind of like mid-tier, like not so good all year, and they upset Pikeville.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is like at some point Hazard is going to be Hazard and get desperate and win a game that nobody expects them to win. And maybe that's tonight. I don't know. But I think maybe this Letcher game serves as some sort of wake-up call, right? I mean, granted, it was on the hill there in Whitesburg, but 54-7, Letcher County Central Cougars over the Hazard Dogs. And we'll talk about players from that game coming up in a bit in your Hometown Heroes segment. Also, another team featured tonight here on TVS Cable as we get you ready for Breathitt and Hazard. Breathitt, also kind of a shocking score maybe to some at home, lost to Johnson 41-0.
Yeah.
And
I picked that one wrong.
Well, we here at TVS Cable, we like to choose we're a hometown, we're hometown guys.
Yeah. I'm tiptoeing around this game.
I cut my finger somehow. Was it on that mask? Yeah, I'm just still, I can't help but be, Johnson's not necessarily been the juggernaut they have been in the past. So I'm like, I don't know. That score is just a little alarming to me after a week that saw Breathitt win big and had their best offensive output easily in this season so far. And now we called it a young season last week, and then we're getting a little older in the season now. So it's like, we're approaching the halfway point. So, one of these teams tonight has to move forward, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to pick the game later in your prophecies, but one of these teams has to move forward. Are you shocked by that score?
I'm not necessarily shocked.
Anthony Brazia, he's here. Anthony's here. Good seeing you, man.
I'm not necessarily shocked by the score because Breathitt's got a new, from what I understand, a new quarterback that had switched positions. And the quarterback's more important than what people think it is. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
They run the system. And so, I'm not shocked in the way the score was. Yes, you obviously think that Breathitt's going to put points on the board. But as far as them getting beat, maybe – and no TikToks, but maybe, Johnson was a little bit more experienced. I did it again. I'm done.
Go Cat. Go Cats. You better not be too loud. Yeah. I see a big piece of chicken going on that griddle, son. You better say go Dogs. I will say this. This is fun. This is the fun part about TVS. I have sources. John Lowe ain't got sources, right? He does. Anthony ain't got no sources.
We got some.
I almost said another media outlet. They ain't got sources.
We got some.
ESPN ain't got sources. Pat McAfee, you ain't nothing. You don't know nothing about Hazard and Breathitt. Don't be shocked if the Bobcats don't do something very different tonight.
Yep.
I think, the reality of, hey, we've tried this, and, Kyle Moore is a coach.
Yeah.
We've seen that. Basketball, football, he's a coach. And I think throughout this process is, okay, we know we have the line to get this done. Do we have what we think we have in the offense that we are running? And I think at some point as a coach, and we experience this in basketball,
most definitely.
Halfway through the year, approaching, you've played a couple weeks, some things you scrap, Some things you keep. Sometimes you just scrape everything.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm wondering if tonight you don't see something drastically different with this Breathitt Bobcats offense. Not saying that it'll work, but I'm saying the time I think has come for probably both sides, right? Yeah. You're talking about low offensive output from both of these teams from a traditional standpoint is like, I really think you're going to see, I know you're going to see something. My sources tell me you were going to see something different on the Breathitt County Bobcats side of the football. So don't be shocked. You heard it here first. Pay me.
Sources.
They're texting me. No, but I think it's fair to say both sides you're probably going to see a little bit something different.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, which takes us to Leslie game, which we also predicted correctly, I want to say. And that one went about the way that me and you both kind of predicted, as Leslie beat Harlan fairly handily, 25-8. And the Eagles are rolling. And we're going to talk about them more in the Ease Prophecy segment and what they got a toughie this week. But Leslie rolling 3 in a row, and they beat Harlan 25-8, who over the past couple of years has been pretty good. Any shock there?
No, I think we both expected this to happen. Congrats to Leslie County for starting out so strong this season. So, I mean, no shocker for me there.
Are you going back to this Prestonsburg game and being like, man, we should have won? Or are you over it at this point?
I think you're past it. I think I would be past it,
I don't know. This is so me. Like, I get so caught up in this one game, right? And I'm like, I'm still hurting for Coach and the Eagles on that first game. Like, they should be undefeated right now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that they're rolling now, and we're about to approach district play. And so, for them to be rolling at the right time and have it figured out with Collett, and they've got Dalton Maggard there toting the thing around. And then, of course, you've got Bryce Pugh on the defensive side of the football. We'll talk about them and Hometown Heroes coming up. But, they got it figured out for right now. All right, here was a shocking, almost score.
Yeah.
Perry Bell. We thought Bell would go to 80, Route 80 there, Highway 80.
Yeah.
And we thought that they would route the Perry Central Commodores in a sense. We said 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah.
Dude, Perry almost beat them. Final was 30-26, but Perry took the lead late.
Yep. Dude, I was at the LCC Hazard game, and I was really watching the Perry Bell game. That's really
all eyes on. I mean, once you get that halftime score, and then they scored, and I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah. I Perry's good. Kaiser's a veteran quarterback. They've got the skill guys, and they have a great coaching staff with Mark Dixon and Chuck Fugit. I mean, they've got what it takes. I personally think right now, the way things stand, they're probably Corbin's best matchup in that district.
Yeah, you see this going Corbin, Perry, Letcher, Whitley. Which
I'm excited for that Perry Letcher game.
Well, here's the thing too, is that we don't talk about enough, and because they are so far out of the coverage area, is that Benny's going to give us food. If he asks me, I'm going to say yes. Josh may tell him no. If he looks at me, I'm saying yes. Does Josh Corner? He's got like a can of Skull in each back pocket. So here's the thing: is we don't see Whitley, right? Like, I don't know how good Whitley is.
Yeah.
We don't get to lay eyes on him. We don't get to I'm not looking. I need to look for, as a responsible show host, is we need to learn more about Whitley. Who knows? They may be able. I've heard they're pretty good. They may be able to get there and mix it up a little bit more. But yes, I think if we're sitting here looking at what we have so far on paper, right? Mm-hmm. Like, bias removed, is that obviously you have Corbin, and then there's a gap, and then you've got Perry and Letcher, who are right there together still.
Yeah,
right?
I'm excited for that game. I think that's going to be a really good game.
I think, where's it at this year?
It's at Letcher.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching at home, and you're in the coverage area, you have to be excited about the Letcher-Perry matchup.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, that's going to be a big one. And honestly, at this point, Perry's 2-2, Letcher's 2-2. Who knows what'll happen tonight? But you figured like when that game gets, it's going to be like a make or break almost. So it's going to tip your season one way or the other when it gets here. So it's like, man, that's going to be a big one that's been circled on the calendar for a long time. All right. That makes our run at Friday rerun in the week that was last week in the KHSAA local coverage area, which takes us, it's always a great seg between there and our hometown heroes in who performed well in those local coverage games last week. And first mentioned is a player you've already mentioned in Kaiser Sloan, who is a veteran quarterback and has shown this year and has shown in the past as like, I see him as being an excellent pocket passer, but he's more than that.
Yes, he's most definitely.
He can run a little bit.
Yes, he can. He can move. When he needs to, he can move. But, shout out to the coaching staff for utilizing him to be able to do those things. I feel like they really opened him up a lot more this year than what they did last year.
With their ability, and again, traditionally to run the ball, and then they got Noah Kilburn on the outside, so I know they're going to be able to toss that thing up. Is like, man, that read option, it's got to be tough for anybody. He can keep it, he can throw it, he can hand it. But at any rate, 146 yards, 40 rush yards, and 3 touchdowns last week total for our man Kaiser Sloan for the Perry Central Commodores. So hats off as our hometown hero, quarterback Kaiser Sloan. Next, the man, I need to come up. There needs to be a nickname, and I don't have it yet. Like Bryce Bowling Ball Pugh. Like Bryce, I don't know. It's going to hit me. But the man is a tackle like machine, like ping pong Pugh. Like he is a just tackle monster. Every game, every week, hometown heroes listed. Bryce Pugh has double-digit tackles, and this man is going to have well over 100 when the year is said and done, which we know in high school football is a heck of an achievement. He had 19 tackles last week against the Harlan Green Dragons. They'll hire anybody. Look at this guy. What's up, baby? You good? Oh, man. Good luck tonight.
Pat McAfee ain't got the refs coming to their show.
Pat McAfee, I swear to God.
Hey, and real quick, I do have to ask you a question about Kaiser, right?
Sure.
So last year we were at Perry's Field, me and you, getting ready to go to a coach's clinic. Remember that?
I remember that.
And we get a text. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was it not Wes that compared Kaiser to Tom Brady?
Yes. Wes.
Has he reached that status yet? Wes, tell us. Tell us, Wes. Has he reached Tom Brady's status?
Well, hey, you know what? Tom Brady can't run, Wes. So if you're looking for a comparison for Kaiser Sloan, try again. Tom ain't running it. Kaiser can run it.
I had to say that. It come to my mind when we were talking about Kaiser.
He did. I don't know why he just immediately reached for an NFL quarterback. Because I will tell you why. Because Tom Brady, because Wes Smith looks at any opportunity to talk about Tom Brady. Look at these guys. Dwight came over. You guys coming over. Good luck tonight, man. Good luck tonight. All right. Try to keep the laundry in your pocket.
You keep mine over here, but you
look here. Let me. There we go.
Back for a fun?
I would be off. Was that okay?
Beautiful. Why don't you come out and fish, He tried it. He didn't do any good at it. We're on radio now.
He tried it and didn't do any good at it.
Hey, good luck.
Thanks, man.
I'll see him tomorrow. I got his game tomorrow.
There you go.
Hey, see you, boys.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming over.
Okay, it's so cold out here looking there.
That looks good. I got a water. JJ and Christy and Dwayne came over, and we actually ran into Tyrone at the gas station on the way. So we have communicated with every single stripe tonight. I think we have. There's one that we haven't. They're over there somewhere.
If it's Big D, I swear.
Oh, man, it's not Big D. I've had a blast tonight. I got to wear the head. I got a free water from Beanie. I got to shake all the refs' hands, throw a flag, throw a beanbag. I've never threw a beanbag. The next thing would be your hat, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Throw their hat?
Yeah.
When do you throw your hat?
I threw my headset. First home game of the year. Got mad, slung the headset.
As a coach.
Granted, I really don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to football, but when I see something I think's not right, I just...
Yeah, if it looks bad, throw it. If it looks bad, throw it. Break it.
I actually had an official tell me, this isn't basketball, Ethan. You can't act this way.
I think about Mark Stoops, man. I've not seen a college football coach really get as mad so quickly, but go from 0 to just 1,000 in one instance like Mark Stoops. I've never seen anything like it. That's what you looked like that first game. Hometown heroes, the refs distracted us. Bryce Pugh with 19 tackles. Great crew on the game tonight. Seth Jackson from Perry Central, 113 yards and a touchdown. So obviously Perry was able to get it done through the air and on the ground against Bell County. Think about that.
That's tough.
And dang near win the thing. Dalton Maggard definitely got it done on the ground for the Leslie County Eagles last week, 208 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, you have a 200-yard game in high school football. As a high school running back, you've had a heck of a night.
Yep.
Keyston Branham from LCC, a new name to the list that we haven't mentioned so far this season. Good to see one. And every week we get a different name from Letcher County Central, which is a great sign. 87 yards through the air and a touchdown. Keyston, good night.
Yeah, he had a great night, and he has potential to keep doing that. You know, as I watched that game, you know, I felt like him and Gunner had a great connection.
What year is Keyston now? Sophomore?
Junior.
Yeah, sophomore, junior.
Something like that.
So, I mean, you can see, you're going to see that connection again.
Yeah, you're going to see that.
And Keeson comes from a great bloodline, man. He's had some great brothers that have been excellent football players at LCC. So they're, you know, he's bound to do great things. So congratulations, Keeson, on a great night. We'll talk about their game coming up this week. And then finally, I do want to shout out, you know, he was WYMT Player of the Week in that 54-7 beat of the Hazard Bulldogs. But Gunner Holbrook, freshman quarterback for the Letcher County Central Cougars, is playing pretty well to be a freshman.
You know, I'm super, as a person who coached him in basketball, I'm super proud of that kid.
Yep.
You know, at first I had my worries. I think everybody did, you know, freshmen coming in.
And I think that's fair.
You know, and even I think, you know, even his dad, talked. His dad had some worries about him playing varsity.
I mean, if I'm a parent and my son is a freshman and you know, like you're going to start him at varsity quarterback, like part of that is great and exciting, but part of that is like worry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I think he's did more than just step up to the to the table. So I think if he continues doing what he's doing, the sky's the limit for the kid. You know,
and that's really and you know, we should credit in that way. And we're talking about a different name every week for the LCC Cougars. I do want to shout out Logan Johnson, one of my good friends who I taught with and coached with, who is the offensive coordinator there, and of course Junior Matthews does a great job. And has done so well, man. I'll never forget there was a year that I was coaching basketball at LCC, and the LCC football team didn't win a game. You know, they didn't win a game. You remember that?
That was Junior's first year.
They didn't win a game. And then you think about where they were then to where they are now, it's crazy, right? Yep. I mean, they dang near beat Johnson Central last year. Like, I mean, it's crazy how far they come. And now people just expect them to be good.
Yep.
You know, it's crazy. I swear, Breathitt has tried to throw the football over here 3 times tonight. All right. Preview for tonight as the clock ticks. Man, we're down to 5.5 minutes, so we got to hustle. Let's go straight to, you know, I think we've got Breathitt tonight and we've got Hazard, and both of these teams, as you well know, and watching at home, both of them have not been traditionally what we expect these programs to be at this point.
Yep.
So let's start there with your prophecies, and we know what each side has. You mentioned Pelfrey on the Hazard side. Of course, we're mentioning, you know, that great line that Breathitt has, but you got to mention Austin Sperry and playmaking ability. So, you know, where are you at? I mean, this is a toughie, right?
You know where I'm at. I think that from last week, both teams are going to come out firing. And I think this tonight is going to be probably the best game Hazard has played yet this season. I think Coach Dan Howard's going to have them riled up and ready to go. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, I said last week, I can't.
They offered us food.
They did offer us
food.
food.
They're cooking us a piece of chicken right now. Literally, Josh told them yes. They're cooking it right now.
I got to take Breathitt in a close one. 32-26, Breathitt. The chicken's not worth the TikTok. The chicken is
not worth the TikTok. Excellent point. I'm going to totally ignore your point. No, I don't. This one's tough for me. Can I come back? Can we run through the list and me come back?
Yeah, let's run through
Okay,
it.
let's do that. All right, here's a toughie for you.
Okay.
Clay County is like 4-0 for the first time in a decade.
Yeah.
Okay? Lots of hype surrounding this team. They had a young group a couple years ago, and this group now is older and experienced, and they've played tough district games, and now they're in a different district that we believe is probably more competitive for them, and they are 4-0.
Yeah.
And they are playing at home tonight against the hot Leslie County Eagles. This probably our toughest week as far as picking games. This is a toughie.
Yeah. I'm taking Leslie's hot.
Leslie's hot.
I'm
Clay's
not
hot. They're
betting
4-0.
I'm not betting against you, but I do. Clay's hot. They're 4-0. They're at home. I got to go with Clay. But I'm going to go with Clay in a close one. Let's go. But I think it's going to be a close, high-scoring game, somewhere along the range of 40-34.
Okay.
One-score game.
Oh, high scorer. Close game. Okay. I'm waiting to make all my picks until you make yours. So we've got Leslie Clay. We've got Breathitt at Hazard. All right, here's another toughie. These are all tough this week. Perry on the road, tough in itself. They're going to Shelby Valley, who I think is sneaky good.
Yeah.
They got a great quarterback. They got great skill position players. Perry goes to Shelby Valley. Is Shelby Valley able to play with them? They're going to play with them maybe, but can they beat them?
No. I think Perry takes this one. I think it's competitive.
Yeah.
But you look at I go back to, I haven't watched Shelby Valley since they played Letcher, but I watched them play Letcher.
You did, yeah.
And they're a good team they're a really good team in their class, but I think that Perry takes this one and by a couple touchdowns. I think, maybe something along the lines of 32-14. You know.
Yeah. I'm saving mine. Letcher County Central goes over the hill tonight, across Pound Mountain to Wise, Virginia.
I think it's high scoring. I think Letcher takes this one, just like the Perry game. I think they take it pretty easy. I think they take it somewhere along the lines of 40-18, 40-20. I think Wise will put up some points against them. But
when we get back, we're making one final prediction. Phelps at not, and I'm making my predictions as we go through prayer right here. We're going to quick break. We'll be right back on Before the Whistle.
Since 1962, Citizens Bank and Trust of Jackson has been proud to serve the community. They care about the people of Breathitt County and are the only locally owned bank in the community. With 2 branches in Jackson and 1 in Beattyville, they're never too far away when you need them. And with the latest innovations in banking, keeping track of your finances has never been easier. Helping to grow Breathitt County as leaders for over 60 years. That's Citizens Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
At HCTC, you're more than just a student.
I am motivated.
I am retired.
I am a grandmother.
I am a veteran. I am an entrepreneur. I am a son.
I am a small business owner.
I am HCTC.
Home sweet home. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we've been providing our friends and neighbors the sweet dream of homeownership since 1960. We're proud to support the community we work and live in. That's why we take so much pride in providing competitive rates, low closing costs, and quick turnaround by local decision makers. Investing and growing our community is what we do. At First Federal Savings and Loan of Hazard, we believe that there's no place like our home. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Just want to watch the game.
Dad, turn on the ceiling fan. Use the gray remote. Hit power, then input.
It's not working.
That's the silver one.
It might be difficult to understand what all the remotes on your coffee table do. But with a Kentucky Farm Bureau agent in every county, at least it's easy to get great insurance. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Next time, I'll just go to the game.
Some may see you as victims,
and no doubt you have lost much and endured even more. But we at KRCC see you as the strong and resilient survivors that you are, and our team stands ready side by side with you as you rebuild your lives and we help rebuild the communities that we all hold so dear. If you need our help, please call KRCC at 1-800-262-7491 or stop by any KRCC location and ask for help. KRCC cares.
We're back at Before the Whistle. We had to come back just super quick, Devin. Don't freak out. I have to make my picks, okay? Quit stressing. We will get to Dave in a second. All right. So we had Leslie at Clay. I'm going to stay with my Eagles because I believe in Coach Melton. I think they get it done on the road tonight in a super close game, but I think somehow the offenses cancel each other, and it's like a 21-20, like a 24-20 game. I'm going to take – man, they're about to hand me some chicken. I know it. I'm going to take the Bobcats, okay? Don't tell Benny. Whatever you do, I swear to God, if you're at home and you run into Benny, do not tell him, okay? Yeah, go Dogs! It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Perry at Valley, I'm going to take Perry, and I think it's a 2-score. Letcher at Wise, I'm taking Letcher in a 3-score. And then the game we did not get to was Phelps at Knott. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Knott. I'm taking Knott big, 40-10.
All right. We will not be that stupid. We are going to take Knott County big over the Phelps Hornets tonight there at the Gingerbread Bowl. And it really is the Gingerbread Bowl this week. All right.
It wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't last week. It is now. No. I think we gave them the idea. All right. We're going to Devin. We're going to Dave. Thank you for joining us on Before the Whistle. We'll catch you next week.